All right. Hey guys, this is Jackson Stenborg's year 2 interview. Take 1. Hopefully the only take.
Woo! The golden take.
Yeah.
My name is Jackson Stenborg. I just turned 23, and today is August 15th, 2022.
I have 715 followers now, yeah.
Jeez, yeah. At this point, I think I checked earlier today, it's 763. So we'll take that, that 50 increase through the year. Call that a solid year.
My most liked photo is a picture of myself from a vacation that I took with my girlfriend to Montauk for a couple days. It's just a picture of me. I've got sunscreen in my eye. I guess I thought it looked all right. I put a little silly poem in the bio that I just thought of on the spot. Got 205 likes.
I'm pretty sure that's still my most liked photo. I don't think that anything else has surpassed that. There've been a couple things that have been close, but I don't know. People were real active that day that I posted that other one. I don't know. Something must have happened. 50 more followers. I don't know where the likes are at. Jeez, what's up with this algorithm? I would say that graduating from school this year at Blackwolves has been a community where if you were to look to put something up or work on a project with somebody, I know who I could reach out to. I was super busy. It wasn't something that I did very much throughout the year. I was just swamped, but I always thought in the back of my head, at any point in time, if there was ever somebody that I needed to ask questions about or have a community of theater people about, that I could always reach out to y'all over here. And I think that just resource in general, without all the different things afterwards, is kind of invaluable. So. I was watching my interview back, and everything was sort of in the context of COVID and how the world was at that time, and I think that it's changed a lot since then. I think for the better in a lot of ways, and I think at the time I was more so worried about, I won't have the opportunity to interact with other performers. I won't have the opportunity to get back on stage or do an audition again or whatever. I think now it becomes more of a, this is just what we do. And now things are getting back to a certain, way again. And, this is something that I have to follow up with, and something that, is going to be really important moving forward. And, I want to keep making art. I'm out of school. That's the whole point. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for whatever's happening.
It's a great group of people who can make art at the drop of a hat and work together really well. It's a great opportunity as well as an actor to be a part of that. So. I'm not sure if you guys were known as Blackwolves at this point in time, but the first time I came to Purchase, before I even went, sort of what sold me on coming to Purchase, honestly, I did a movie with you guys here, and we filmed in the music building at midnight or something like that. It was just a cool experience for me to be at college, it was a cool thing at that time. And to do the launch video as well, just to hang out with you guys and see everyone again and see the other people that are in the collective was cool as well. So those were both really cool memories.
I don't know. Those memories are near and dear to my heart. That experience kind of, in a way, shaped the reason that I went to the school that I went to. It was that, and then it was, that I could also play soccer there or something. But all together, that was always the reason. I think that'll always kind of be my fondest memory. But the other day I saw Logan and Jacob at an event. I was just out there in the blue in the middle of nowhere. I didn't expect to see anybody that I knew, but it's just cool because it helps you to know that these people are in these circles, and that we're supporting each other in these spaces. And I think that's important to have a sort of community outside of just go to an audition. Maybe I see somebody that I know. Those kind of interactions. It's good to have that gel. I think that those memories are to come. I think that there's a lot to happen.
I did an episode of Law & Order when I was in high school, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. A lot of people seemed to think so at the time. Other than that, I can't believe this didn't come to my mind first. I did motion capture work and some acting stuff with Rockstar Games on Red Dead Redemption 2, which was so cool. I'd cut off a finger to work with these guys again. It is just the coolest thing, and I'd love to get into doing something like that, really long term.
I'd have to say the same kind of things, but recently this past year, last summer, I made a film with my friend Daniel Kyriakos, who is a fellow Purchase graduate. He's a writer, creator, director, that whole thing. He and I collaborated on my senior project, which was a film called Alden Deforming to Life. It was a very kind of strange film. It worked in these sort of surreal spaces where, surprise, surprise, I'd play a murderer. If you interpret it differently, you could see it other ways. It's a unique film. And Daniel's somebody who has a lot of vision. And I realized after, working on that film that that's the kind of stuff that I'm kind of interested in, or at least I'm interested in that as well, in a space that I didn't know that I was interested in before. I think that it's important to find those things, because it turned into one of my favorite experiences. We shot for like 3 months, kind of off and on, and it was a lot of work, but it was really fun. It was cool. I'm trying to think of something that isn't very surface level. I feel like being, on my own now, it's like focus on like you and yours, and like try and get yourself to a place where like you're good before you start like branching out and whatever. But right now, I think, I think mental health is really important at this time. I think that there's been a lot of time since everyone had to get like shipped away to different places and like not see people for a long time and whatever. And I think that there's a lot of things that are coming up now, a lot of experiences that people had over that time that are sort of unearthing in ways that maybe some people didn't expect. And I've noticed that with a few of my friends. I've noticed that, even with myself, like I get a moment where I'm like, what was I doing during that time? And, I think about it, I try not to be, feel a certain way about it, but it's hard, you got to take care of yourself. You have to realize what the best things are for you and sort of move on in those ways. And if therapy's for you, do therapy. If you have someone that you care about, someone you can trust, talk to that person, do whatever you have to do. But like, priority, feel good about your life if you can. Just try and do that all the time, every day.
I mean, I think this kind of goes without saying, just being safe, and during these times especially, just to really step back for a second and appreciate what you were, I mean, for me at least, what I have and what I have to give in the world, and just sort of to recognize things like privilege and opportunity. And I'll just shout this out because I've been living with my girlfriend for a while now, and she has been a real leader in this organization called Students Against Child Marriage. And it's something you wouldn't really realize, but like child marriage is legal in like 46 states, something like that. Like kids can get married to adults. And I just literally had no idea about it. So yeah, that's something I've been focusing on for the last like year now.
Yeah, that stuff is still happening, I mean, not that, surprise, surprise, it changed, the whole entire thing changed in a year. No, it didn't, it's still happening. But yeah, since then she's not working with them anymore. They've sort of, gone different routes. She's gone different routes, but nonetheless, the message sort of remains the same. It's like, it's crazy. It's insane. How's this happening? It's like it's a totally new world. It feels like a hundreds of years ago kind of concept to like marry children. That's weird. That's weird, dog. Don't do that. Yeah, leave that alone.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. I love the whole Wes Anderson like aesthetic type thing. I just think it's a really fun movie. I love everything about it. I think it's a really great thing, and I'd love to do more voice acting and things like that in the future. And the characters are fantastic. So fantastic. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, you know what? Over this past year, I was in a like upper level playwriting course, and I had to like tell people my favorite movie. I did a little presentation about it. I realized that the story is kind of about Roald Dahl, who he's the writer of the original Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it's sort of just about his life, and I thought that was even more touching. It like added that extra dimension to it that I didn't even know about it before, and these characters are, caricatures of people that he knows in his life, and I found that really sweet. I mean, of course, where else do you sort of draw inspiration from the people that inspire you? But, out of fear of saying the same thing again, because that is still probably my favorite movie, I saw a movie this past year called Lux Eterna, which is a Gaspar Noé film. And that movie blew my goddamn mind. Insane. I mean, I don't personally believe this, but at the beginning of the film, he basically has a note that says, like, I would give up my whole life for the seconds of bliss that, like, a epileptic feels before a seizure. And it's like a crazy statement. Like, why would you say that? But he took it deadly serious. And the movie ends with, like, strobing, like, RGB lights for the last 25 minutes of it, and by the end of the film you're just like, hypnotized, like, what did I just watch? And the acting in it is incredible. I wish I could remember the actress's name. I feel so bad that I don't. It's so real. It's shot in this really strange kind of like two-screen way. Someone's following somebody and somebody's like being followed. It's a really unique film, really unique. And it's only 50 minutes. Like if you have time, you watch the movie, it's amazing. It's totally insane. But I've really gotten into Gaspar Noé in those movies past year.
Beatrice Dalley and Charlotte Gainsbourg.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. They are fantastic. They have a scene in the very beginning. It's like one of the first shots of the film. They're just going back and forth. They're talking about like real experiences that they had, and it's not scripted, none of it, the whole thing. But it just is incredible. The structure that they have with their improv, just like in the moment, and it's just real. Their beats are real. It's like real. It's just real acting in the sense of like it's an actual conversation that these people are having, and there's nothing behind it other than that. But it's incredible to watch. You can't take your eyes off of it, and it's shot so uniquely in the two-screen way. You're looking at both people sort of from like above. It's interesting. Really, really cool movie. Check it out. I actually love watching other people's interviews, mostly because I think at first glance, I notice people, I see some people from back in BPAS or anything like that, and I love the energy that everybody's bringing to all these videos. It's contagious. I watched one video and it's like, oh, well, I should probably, I'm gonna watch, I want to watch the other one, and oh, wow, this one too, oh shit, they did another one, I enjoyed that, and I feel bad, but like, my dad is somebody who's been really like on me about podcasts. And because of that, unfortunately, like I really can't do podcasts. But I remember there was one time where I think you guys did the Packcast, and I was listening to it and I was like, you know what, I could get behind this. If I'm watching them speak, I can get behind it. But I cannot sit in a space by myself and just listen to people. That's just me. I'm sure people love it. My dad loves it, but I do not love that. So watching the video is much better. I think I said this last time that it was the color that I was wearing, and I might have to agree. See, the thing is that I like so many colors. Maybe I like a dark, cloudy blue, something like that, like this leg right here.
Like this color, like a green, like a dark green, like a earthy green type thing. Maybe like a little like earthy yellow in there. I don't know what it is. I like it a lot these days.
What's funny about that, I went to a store, I found like the exact same shirt I was wearing in that video, basically the same shirt, but kind of more yellow and long sleeve, and I was like, I can't help myself, I bought it. It's like pretty much the same shirt. Like they had the same person in the same room, they just used the wrong fabric, it's the same shirt. I don't know why I got it, but like I said, I'm still an earthy yellow-green addict. It's like a cloudy day, it's my wardrobe, like a cloudy day in the rainforest or something like that. I don't know. You know what? It's strange. I think these days it's a little different because there's been a real sort of lack of at least professional opportunity for me in the last year. And I think that when I was in the zone of being out there pretty often, and I was in the zone of going out there, being in those spaces, talking to those people, seeing familiar faces, everything like that, like it just became second nature to be in those spaces. It really did. It's like, why would I be nervous? This is, I was here last week. What am I nervous about? But I think these days it feels a little more consequential, whether you get something, whether you don't. And I realized that I had like this wonderful privilege of not having to worry about whether I got something or not when I was growing up. And I loved that about that, because all you would have is just love for what you were doing, whether you got it or not. I think these days it feels a little different. I'd love to be back in those spaces and kind of work that kink out, because right now it does feel, there's a little pressure. There's definitely a little pressure. It's like, what are you going to do right now? What's it going to be? Is it going to be worth it? Are you going to like it? If you don't like it, more pressure, this and that, the other thing. But yeah, these days I think you feel the pressure a little bit more. You're on your own now. You got to do it.
I don't feel pressure before I'm going to do something, but as I'm doing it, I feel the pressure. I mean, in an acting, like performance scenario, I don't feel pressure until I'm right about to go on. Like rehearsals, thinking about it, whatever. Right before I'm about to go on, pressure, blackout, show is done. Like, I don't know. I'm
true.
like in a trance. But in other things, like I play soccer as well. Like I feel pressure all the time for something like that. Like I anticipate things, so much, and like being in those sort of scenarios is pressure. It's like a pressured like chamber every time that there's like a game or a match. So much is relying on everything. So I do in some scenarios, but like from a theater standpoint, I don't know, not really. I feel like I'm very comfortable, and I think that's lucky.
Yeah, shout out to soccer. I still play soccer. I have to talk about it at least once a day. It used to be like the biggest part of my entire personality. I'd be like, yeah, I play soccer. Everybody's like, whoa, no way. Or like, okay, whatever. Thanks for sharing that. But I have to mention it. I still do it. I still love it.
When people just don't do their job, when there's like a simple task at hand that just needs to be done, and people just aren't doing what they need to be doing, or what they're supposed to be doing. I'm sure I have a bunch of pet peeves, but genuinely, I feel like I consider myself such like a positive person who's kind of like working towards progressing forward from things all the time, that like I don't really think about like what is bothering me or what's negative exactly. So I always find this question kind of hard to answer, but I'd say when people just don't do their job, I think it sort of just, it gets on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah, like I said last year, I think the same is still true. I really try not to like worry about the things that are like bugging me so often, or if someone does one thing. But I guess, you know what? Fine. I have a bunch now. You really realize things about yourself, and you spend so much time with yourself over the year. When people don't have headphones on the train, you're just playing music out loud, you're watching a YouTube video. The other day, there was this guy coming home from work, he was like a construction worker, had all this stuff. He was watching like animated Spider-Man out loud right next to me on the train. And like on top of that, it was an empty thing. I sit down, I'm by the door. And instead of him sitting by the pole in the middle, like New York etiquette, right? He sits right down next to me. And he's spreading his legs like that, and he's leaning like that, and he spits on the floor of the train. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, whoa, what's happening right now? No one told this guy about the subway? Are you kidding me? I don't know. It's just like in the back of my mind, I was like, you can't be serious right now. Please, just like turn a little bit. You want to turn it down a little bit? Worst part is that I didn't have headphones. I just forgot them. So I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, nah, please. Please. It's like, I like Spider-Man too, but not that much.
I'd probably just like to tell myself, like, this is not going to be that bad. I mean, for me personally, just with the people I got to be around my girlfriend and her family for nearly an entire year. It was one of the best experiences of my life. And we grew so close, and her family and I grew so close. And I got to really spend a lot of time with people who I don't usually get to spend too much time with. And maybe over the internet, but still, I'm someone who uses the internet pretty frequently, so. Or maybe, just wishful thinking wise, tell myself maybe do a little more. Use that free time that you think you have, free time, and do a little more with it. Spend a little more time making art or bettering yourself, because I feel like, might have made efforts, but probably could have done with a little more.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny that I'm giving that advice to myself 2 years ago now, giving that to 2020, but it's probably almost the same advice I give myself if I was talking to myself last year. More specifically, take advantage of the opportunities you have while you're at school. I mean, just like do everything that you can to like fully take advantage of every opportunity, because you only get so much time. You're paying for it already, and it's like there's so many things that allows for you to do. Just figure out what they are. Do that. I started realizing things when the end was coming closer. I started realizing like, oh, you want to 3D print something? They have that. You can do that at school. Like for nothing. Oh, you want to burn some message into a block of wood? You can do that at school. Oh, you want to photocopy every play in the entire school's library? No one's going to stop you. You will have plays, full plays for the rest of your life, forever, and you won't have to pay a dime for them. They are yours now. Things that I thought about, but things that I didn't like capitalize on. I think just be a little sharper. Be a little sharper, and when you get the inclination to do something, think about what it would be like if you just didn't do it. Like, what would you be losing? When you think about what you'd be losing, I think it becomes easier to like want to do something, because it's like, but what if I miss out on this? Kind of the fuel that I need, because I got proactive issues. I need to be more proactive, so I need to think more about the consequences of just like, little anythings before I try to say, maybe I won't do that.
Mariska Hargitay in Law & Order was pretty awesome. Just like seeing her there. I sat down with Ice-T in the middle of shoots. He was super cool. He was so like, hey, tell me about yourself. I was like, okay, shit. Like, I guess I will. The first like professional gig that I ever did on camera, it didn't get picked up, which sucks, but I had a scene with Cuba Gooding Jr. and it was one of the most amazing experiences. I'd say Cuba Gooding Jr. is probably the biggest person that I've performed with.
I think the same is true. I hope give it 10 years, 15 years, I could be saying some of the people that I work alongside on the smaller projects that I work on. I think that would make a pretty rad story. Like, I got cool friends, I respect them a lot, I like them a lot, I hope that they do good things, and who knows, 10 years down the line, 10 interviews later, I'll just be saying, I did an interview with Logan one time, Jacob was there, it happened, we're friends, we're cool, it's no big deal, it's whatever, don't worry about it. No, you can't talk to them, sorry, they have me blocked right now, something happened, no, obviously not, but, something along those lines. I feel very lucky to have the people that I have around me, so I hope that those people become those names.
Wes Anderson, just because if you get in that group, you're in that group like forever, I feel like.
Yeah.
And you just get to make more and more movies with this guy. And I feel like that'd be an incredible experience. I'd say Benedict Cumberbatch, I think he's an incredible actor. He just like goes 50 times beyond like just to put the effort in. I'd say Kenneth Lonergan, I think he's a fantastic playwright, and I would love, I'd cut someone off to be in one of his shows. And just like honorable mention, Taika Waititi, he seems like an awesome person to be around. He seems hilarious, and I think he's probably a fantastic director on top of that. And everything that he's been doing lately seems to turn to gold. And to work with someone like that I think would be really cool.
I have to say, like, yes, all of those things and all of those people are absolutely people I want to work with. It remains the same. I mean, the list just grows. It's I think at this point I was mentioning earlier Gaspar Noé. I mean, the guy's a genius, absolute genius. He is the god of momentum in a movie, like picking up and intensifying, and just getting to a place where things are insane. He makes movies that make you think about them forever. You'll never stop thinking about these movies once you see them. And there's a part of me that, like, after this year, I was working in these sort of more surreal spaces, and I did my final thesis on like surrealist art and the influences and how it connects to the film that I did. And I would really be interested in working with more directors like that who have real ground in the game of like surrealist filmmaking. I think that'd be really interesting. I enjoy the challenge of working with those kinds of characters in those spaces. And yeah, I mean, probably dream person Gaspar Noé. Otherwise, maybe like actors, people like that. I'd say like Florence Pugh. She seems like amazing. Like, she just seems incredible. Like, she seems like she'd be an amazing person to work with. She looks like she'd be like hilarious. There's a part of me that was like thinking in like casting ways. I was like, oh, who could I play like a sibling of or something like that? I don't know if Florence Pugh is the right person, but we can both be blonde. We can both be pale. So hey, I put my hands up. Maybe like if Domhnall Gleeson tried being dirty blonde for a day or something like that, maybe we could make something work. I've been watching The Bear. The characters in that, they look really closely related. And I started thinking about that the other day. I was like, who do I look like? I still don't know. I have to go searching for people. But yeah, those people, all of those people, love to work with them. I'd love to work with anybody, honestly. Please hit my line. I appreciate you. See, this is the issue, and I know that I said this last time too. I've gotten so into suggested music that I don't know any of the artists that I'm listening to while I'm listening to them. I know like their songs, I know their music, but I actually have an answer to this, believe it or not. I was looking back at music that I listened to growing up, and I realized my dad is somebody who really loves music, and so he would show me all the artists and all the people that I knew growing up. He kind of formed my music taste, but I never got to listen to any of their music on my own, like, in my own sort of way. So I returned to Arctic Monkeys recently, and I started listening back through all their older albums. I don't know if I'm getting the title exactly right. I think it's Whatever They Say I Am, I'm Not. It's like an album with some dude like smoking a cigarette on the front of it. I kind of realized for myself that might be one of the greatest albums of all time for me, and that I totally missed out on listening to it from beginning to end when I was a kid, and that doing that now has been an insane experience.
I've been doing this thing lately where I've been getting into like suggested songs because I don't want to like rest on what I'm listening to all the time.
This guy knows.
I'd say I like Smino a lot. I think like the flow and like everything,
Still
like all the
Smino.
songs, it's just so cool. Like it's one of the coolest things. I just love listening to it. I'd say Anderson .Paak. I feel like you just can't write the guy off. He's amazing. Everything that he makes is so cool. And as a drummer, like as his background, I'm someone who really loves like drumming. I wanted to be a drummer when I was a kid. I never really got into it, so I sort of like just live vicariously through people who are really talented. And sort of on the back of that, there's this guy, JD Beck, really young guy, like drum prodigy. He's just incredible. He's a super young kid. He's so cool. My dad showed me to him. It's him and this other girl, Domi. So it's JD Beck and Domi. They've been making music. They're working on an album right now. There's a few people that have been on my radar lately over the year and stuff.
Yeah, just to throw it out there, Domi and JD Beck, they got an album and it came out. The album I was speaking about actually happened. Believe it or not, musical artists are getting it done. And it's sick. It's so good. I love those guys. I love those guys so much. And on the topic of drums, over the last year, one of the coolest things is that I actually started playing drums. And I realized how much I enjoyed it. And my friend Daniel, who I had worked on that movie with before, he's a very talented pianist. And my other friend Sandro, who's working on it as well, he'll play a bunch of other instruments. So, over the last year, we found ourselves kind of having like a jam session every once in a while. It's really, really fun. Really, really fun. I recommend drumming. So great. You get all your energy out, and you have fun with your homies. What else could you want? I think my issue when it comes to these is that I'm not very introspective. After I do something, I kind of just let something happen, kind of move on from it. I'm not totally sure. I think I'd say something along the lines of, it's better to be prepared, for something than going into something blindly. I think after school was done, I came back home and I thought to myself, this will just be fine. This will be easy. It wasn't really going to be doing the research in terms of how things are going to, to look after school, all of that stuff. I was like, I'll just talk to agents again, I'll talk to people again, have the ball rolling again. And truth be told, has not been like that. It's been a kind of difficult process in truth, but always work towards, what you want. Don't let it clock off your radar because you're getting wrapped up in something else. If there's something you really, really want, always have it on your mind, always have it on your radar, always be doing something to get to that point, because I had plenty of time where I could have been keeping connections alive, keeping people in the loop, asking, hey, how's this going? When I'm done with school, I'm going to be in this position, this, that, and the other thing. And, I think that probably would have helped aid the transition a little better. And with anything else too. Just keep your mind on the things that you really, really love, really enjoy. So. Actors, here's the advice. Are you ready for it? Don't let anything fall off your radar. Always be keyed in. Always be keyed in to new work, new people. Don't be afraid to work on something that you don't know if you're gonna be good at or good at, whatever. Just try and try stuff. Whether you think you're gonna like it or not, it could be fun. You could find something that you really like. I did a surreal film for one of the first times in my life, and I thought to myself before the process, I was like, what do you mean I have to act like I am, strange thing, right? What do you mean I have to act like I am both now assuming the form of somebody I have killed and I am the murderer at the same time? Weird concept, right? I loved it. I loved every second of it. Playing the duality of circumstance was incredibly fun and not something that I would have done otherwise. So try new things. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I think last time I said, I had somebody who gave me very good advice, and it was effectively be bold and don't bullshit yourself, which I think can be summed up to maybe just be brave. Don't worry about the knots and whatever. Don't do this, don't do that. Just be brave. One shot. Get one shot at this. Just do it. Why not?
Fall in love with it. If you don't, it's difficult. I think it's difficult when you don't actually love doing it. And branch out as well. It's something that I just sort of started getting into. I'm taking a playwriting class this semester, and I've never written a play before, but I'm already writing a play. I had this idea, and so branch out as well. I think I'm someone who's a firm believer in I would do any play that has excellent writing. So I think as an actor, to be able to understand what it's like to write an excellent play is something that I think would be really important. And I haven't done it yet. I have not done it yet, but I'm interested in it. So fall in love with it, because it just makes it so much easier. And I think that's the best part about it.
Yeah, that's fun. Since then, I actually, before I left Purchase, I got a minor in playwriting because I really enjoyed it. I mean, from that point on, it became like one of the things that I realized, yeah, I really would do this. I really do like making stories, and not just like sharing them, as an actor, allowing that to be the means by which I express it, but like by actually writing it out. I enjoy getting into the nitty-gritty with the beats, feeling a moment as it's being like written down, and maybe this isn't like the most sound advice in the world, but I think that good writing can make good actors out of like anybody. And I think when you get somebody that is really sharp as a writer, you are just given a beautiful gift. Like, you messing that up at that point is on you. That's a good script. That's a really good script. When you see something like that come across to you as an actor, you just have to be like, thank you, on the knees, thank you. But yeah, playwriting has been really fun. I have 3 plays now, and I'm working on a screenplay as we speak. Very cool. I need to figure out the rules for using source material and things like that if it ever comes out into the world, but it seems like it's going to be pretty cool. You know what? I want to see more opportunities. Selfishly, for myself, yeah, I'd love to see more opportunities. I'd love to see more things go up. I'd love to see people trying more experimental methods at this point in time while the world is still in like partial recovery mode. Now, I mean, still a handful of places that, there's mandates, or a lot of places where there's just straight up nothing. I say this in a sort of surrealist aspect. It's like a violent space in the sense of like, there's a violence of like concerned individuals against people who are carefree. And that's an interesting sort of violence occurring like in society right now. And I think that's a really interesting topic. I think that we could see more on that. And I think there has been like TV shows, art, maybe even plays that are coming out soon about these kinds of things. But I think that it's a really unique thing for maybe a surrealist artist to latch onto. I think it could make for some cool stuff. So it's my thought.
I know it's not like really that possible, but I'd love to like get away from Zoom and start trying to find new ways to like do things live and put things up live, and
we did it.
Find ways to bring theater back again in a physical way. Do our best to find a way to do things the way that we used to do them again. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see change.
Yeah, you heard the guy. I'd like to see things be in person. Thankfully, a lot of people got their shit together over the year. Thankfully, a lot of things can happen again. But, it's still a work in progress. It still needs to get worked through. It seems like, now people can probably make the excuse of, oh, there's always going to be something else. Oh, now it's like, what is it, like monkeypox or something like that? Like somebody rubs your elbow on the train and all of a sudden you're like screwed for a week and a half, or you have some serious thing. Like there's always going to be something. So we need to adapt. We need to realize that like these things are going to keep happening. There need to be ways to continue to keep the ball rolling. Like, people need theater. New York gets it. A lot of places don't get it. You need theater. It's imperative that we share stories live with individuals. People need to feel what that's like to experience something like that. It's not like a maybe. You need it.
I hate that this is my answer for some reason, but like Instagram, I've had it since it came out, and I find myself like, I'll just have my phone on me and I'll just be like, well, let's check what's on Instagram. And I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to see it, but I know that I use it the most. Otherwise, Discord. I've been using Discord a lot lately. I've been playing some games and been doing things like that. I do D&D as well. I think it's one of the biggest things that I've been doing over the last year. I have a campaign that's been running for like a year and a half. So Discord as well.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part the same. I still feel the same way about it. It's like Instagram, I guess it really is the crutch. Yeah, but otherwise it's even split between like that and YouTube. I love my little like privacy spaces. So sometimes I'll be in the bathroom on my phone, I'm watching YouTube, and I could sit there for like hours. Love my little space, my little like private time to myself. So I probably spend a lot of time on YouTube. Other than that, two others. The weather app. Spend a lot of time on the weather app. Very pale. It's very hot outside. I need to know what the temperature is like. And I recently discovered this like UV index thing that I'm sure everyone's known about for their entire life except for me. And so I just do not go outside when the UV index is high. And in return, I don't get any terrible consequences to my skin. I'd say the last one that I probably split time with more recently is an app called Be Real, which I didn't think I was going to like it. And then I realized that I never take pictures of myself anywhere that I go. And it seems really inconsequential. You just get to share like one thing you're doing in your day, and it sends you a notification. So it's like, oh, I don't have to think about it all day. Oh, there it is. It doesn't have to be on your mind all the time. Like I put a post on Instagram. I wonder like how many likes it's gonna get in the next hour or something. It's not that consequential. You just post a picture. People get to see it. Put a stupid reaction on it. And you get to document your life. How interesting. I think it's cool. I don't know. I enjoy it. It's like a nice version of all of the other like sharing apps, in my opinion. I mean, listen, for a while it was just getting work. Just it was a very long lull of time where I was going to every place. And I mean every place. I mean, I went to like 25 places that I wanted to work at, and I'm giving them resumes, I'm talking to people. People are giving me actually, I can't take this right now, this and that, my manager's coming in next week or whatever. It seemed like every place I went, some sort of excuse as to why not. And it confused me a little bit because it's like, first off, I'm back don't y'all want help or something? Like, are you not overworked? It's always better to have more people than less people. Like, you get a day off if I work here. Don't you want me to work here? But at the same time, it's a difficult kind of world to step into for anybody. You come out of school and it's like, hey, I got this fancy degree. You guys want this degree? And they're like, no, actually, we don't. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, but I just started working at the Stranger Things experience, which is kind of rad. On my first day, I got to go through the experience, and it was really cool. I felt kind of stupid being there by myself. I was like this one guy alone with this like family from the Midwest, and I'm like doing poses and stuff and like pretending to like do the whole thing with them. I'm like using my psychic powers or something in the thing, but it's fun.
I think I need to have a little more faith in myself. Be a little more brave, be a little more bold as an actor, as a performer. Yeah, I got really great advice from this guy, Arian Moyed, when I was in high school. I was struggling a lot, and he took me out of class one time. He looked at me, he was just like, stop bullshitting yourself. You're better than this. And I was like, whoa, I'm 15. What are you, what's happening? But that was one of the best like interventions I've ever had. and I need to take that advice a little more. I need a little more faith in myself. And I think I need that little pep talk on my end every now and again.
Yeah, funny story about that is that over the past year, one of those 50 new followers actually happened to be the man himself, and it was, you know, you think for a second, you see the person with the little blue tick, and they follow you, and you're like, oh shit, what's going on right now? Like, what did I do? Why are you following me? And I realized for a second that it's like it's not about that, like in the slightest. It's not even close. Like, this is a human being who, at a point in time, had a lot of faith in me and sees what I'm doing or recognizes me in some way, and like, we are both artists. I mean, yes, he's doing a lot of stuff right now, a lot of huge stuff right now, but you know, he's somebody that just always kind of seemed to have faith in me, and I always appreciated it, even though in the time I was probably like, okay, this is a little much. Probably one of the best things to ever happen to me in my life is for somebody to actually take me seriously as a young person and say, you need to do better than what you're doing right now. And not because you're a kid, but because I believe in you. That moment sticks with me. It absolutely always will. And you know, I've talked to him a couple times over social media, and it's just continues to be a very generous human being, not just with, you know, his time, but like himself in all of these projects. I mean, he plays awesome characters who in a lot of ways reflect who I think he is, you know, off camera, but really cool stuff. He's just become this like go-to actor for a certain thing, and that's pretty rad. That's pretty rad for him. Well, hometown hero, I think, is my response. I'll probably give it to my mom.
It's gonna sound really like hometown hero type thing, but like I would save it until I could like write the total like mortgage on a house for like my parents or something like that. Like do something that means something, and that means a lot to me. So I would love to do that for them, and if you know, if I have the means to do it, I would love to do it. So that's probably what I do with that.
You know what? I didn't think about this before when you were talking about, you know, just stuff that's been important and sort of on your mind and whatever. But on the topic of homes, I think when you just think of homes, you just think of like, holy shit, that is so expensive. Like, holy shit, this is the one thing keeping me from like doing anything else affordable or what I care about or anything. It just seems stupid, you know, that like living should be so expensive. It seems a little ridiculous sometimes. So, you know, you have that blank check. First thought that came to my mind is, you know, just there's been a lot of, I mean, this has happened forever, but just like homelessness in general. I mean, I see so many posts on, you know, on Instagram, you know, 1 million people's stories, at least like 6 people's stories a day. It's like, all I need is like this much money, or I'm going to be homeless. Like, I've been trying to live by myself, I'm trying to support myself, this and that. And it's like, it's a scary thing. It's a terrifying thing to come out of a space where, you know, you have everything, you know, going for you. You just received your education. You know, you could go out there and you could do amazing things with that. But the thing that's stopping you is like, just where do I live? I think everybody, you know, deserves a place to live, a home. You know, if a blank check could help somebody with a place to live, I think I would try and do that for somebody for a while. Not just like, oh, here's 1 month. I'd be like, just buy the place. You'd better get some work, dog. You'd better get some work. You'd better finish that script. You'd better tell somebody about the 3 plays that you have written. Do not let that slide. And if I don't see you on TV or something like that, you are not trying hard enough, my friend. Do more. Do more. Do not have the same answer next year about, oh, I wish I could do more. Just do more. Just do more. Simple. And I love you. Hi. Once again, my name is Jackson. I'm an actor. I love doing this. I will work on, I want to say anything, but I know I don't mean that, but pretty much anything. I love working. I love being an actor. Remember this about me. I love being an actor. It is what I want in my life, and it's something that I've always wanted. Love something like that. Love something your whole life. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. My Instagram is at j.stenborg. I hope you see me soon on the internet, on television, on stage. I hope you hear me in your car on the way to work. Thank you.